Hey guys, I know I'm in a new background, but I'm at my parents' house, so the old background will be back next week. But I wanted to film a really quick video for you just to kind of compare a story that I'm really passionate about and I really love, and that is Hidden Figures by Margaret Shetlery. I recently went to go, sorry about the weird lighting, but anyway, I recently went to go see the movie. I had already finished the book and I wanted to do kind of like a little comparison about how I felt about each one for you guys. So yeah, this is kind of like the first movie to book kind of comparison I've done. So I'd be curious to see what you guys think about it. So I first want to talk about like what this story is about basically. And it follows African-American mathematicians during the 1960s who worked for NASA, or previously known as NACA, and they were basically computers solving mathematical problems to help air flight and eventually space exploration. So it's not a story that I ever heard of before until this book, and I don't know, like a part of that makes it even more emotional for me to talk about, because even my mom, who was growing up during this time period, didn't know anything about these really influential African-American females who were, you know, very educated, very smart, and making a big difference in NASA at the time. So it's like just a little disappointing that this hasn't been public knowledge, or it hasn't been something that we discuss in school or discuss in general. And it's good that this story is finally getting out, and the females that actually did these accomplishments are really finally getting appreciated and acknowledged for what they did. So I just wanted to like say how much this book means to me, because it's something I never knew about, and it makes me think about like what else don't I know that African Americans have achieved that needs to be out there, you know? So I'm really glad that like Margaret wrote this book and that a movie was made out of it, because while a lot of people will read the book, the movie just makes it more accessible to a larger group of people, and we can finally like spread the word about these great African-American females. So yeah, I kind of want to go into my feelings about the book and then my feelings about the movie. So I actually listened to this book on Audible, and I kind of felt like while I really enjoyed how much in-depth research she did, she really talks about these characters from like when they were little to getting to the point where they were hired by NACA or NASA. And so it's a very in-depth like depiction of these females' lives, and I really enjoyed that. But I feel like she jumps a lot between the different characters, and the plot almost seemed very sporadic, and it's kind of hard to follow. And I think that's one of the biggest criticisms I have about this book. While the content, the message, the writing even was very well done, it's just really hard to follow. There's a lot more characters in the book that are depicted in the movie, and you're just jumping between one character to the next without any real chronological order. So it's, yeah. And I wasn't sure if it was just that way because I was listening to it and didn't have like the physical copy to read. But my mom read the book and she said she felt the same way. So I don't know if other people felt that way, but it was just really hard to read. So that's what I think the movie really was able to capture a lot better. They focused on 3 of the females, and I think that focus was, I mean, it's better for the movie, and it followed a more linear time frame. So it was a lot easier to follow. The narrative was more, I feel like you could get more invested in the characters in the movie of the narrative, because just because it followed them so closely and didn't jump back and forth between characters. There were a few things in the book that I had wished were in the movie. The movie depicts one of the characters, Catherine. she has to go, she's working in one building and then transferred to another building, but the new building that she's transferred to doesn't have a colored bathroom, so she has to walk half a mile to the building she was working at before to use the bathroom. And that obviously builds some tension in her work. She's always like gone for long periods of time, and her boss is starting to question what is she doing with her time. And the boss ends up like kind of removing the colored sign from the bathroom to symbolize that we can all, why is there this distinction between colored and white bathrooms? We should all be able to use the same bathrooms. And I don't remember if this part of the movie was really in the book, but to me it just kind of felt like I liked her actually having to like travel from a mile to use the bathroom is real, it's happened, but I'm not sure if the manager was the one that kind of initiated the we can all use the same bathroom type feel. And I don't know, I just feel like it's, once again, it's that instance where the white person kind of saves the black person, and obviously we can't have change without all of us like working together to make that change. But it just, I don't know, it kind of bothered me in that sense. Like, she wasn't able to like affect the change herself, but oh, we have the savior that is going to, you know, desegregate the bathrooms for her. So that was kind of a touchy point for me. And also there was this really interesting small detail in the book actually, where the females had to sit at a separate colored table during lunch. And this one woman would always like take the colored sign and like hide it in her purse, and then like, you know, a couple days later there would be another sign there and she would take it again. And you know, this was something that could potentially jeopardize her job, but she kept taking the sign. And then after a while they just gave up and never put the sign back on, even though it wasn't that they were opposed to sitting all together in a colored section. It was just the fact that it was like designated, like that's the only place they could sit. And I really wish they would have included that little scene in the movie, just because I feel like it shows what these females weren't going to put up with in their jobs, and they were willing to risk getting fired to show that they wanted some rights and wanted to be treated equally. So yeah, I wish that was kind of in it. I know the character that actually takes the sign every time wasn't depicted in the movie, but they could have like given that scene to one of the three characters. I think that was like a really strong point in the book, or at least it stuck with me a lot in the book. So I was really hoping to kind of see it. And it was interesting because I knew this was going to be made into a movie as I was reading it. So I was kind of thinking, oh, like this is definitely going to be in the movie. And I was kind of like imagining what it was going to be like in my head. And a lot of the instances I feel I got to see in the movie, but except for that, like that sign at the lunch table that I really thought they were gonna put in the movie, but they didn't. And I was really surprised. I really enjoyed the casting. I was really surprised that they picked Taraji Henson as Catherine. I was expecting her to be Mary, just because she usually like plays these really like strong female roles with like stubborn, kind of assertive roles in movies, and just that seemed like more the Mary character rather than Catherine. But I feel like she did a fantastic job of portraying Catherine's character and personality, and it was just fantastic. I really loved all of the characters and how they all played out. So yeah, that was just really something I enjoyed about the movie. I thought they did a really good job with the casting. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about is another thing I thought was really lacking in the movie was this togetherness between not only African American computers, but female computers in general. I felt like there was more I don't know if I was kind of like reading this myself, but I felt like there was more kind of a united front with female computers in general, and not just like African Americans and then white female computers. And to me, in the movie, they seemed very separate, well, like very opposing kind of groups, I guess. So I was interested in that kind of angle that they took. I don't know, maybe I was just like misinterpreting the book, but I felt like there was more of a sense of unity between female computers in general, no matter what race they were. So I don't know, that was just kind of lacking in the movie, but I don't think it took away from the message at all. But it would be nice to see like a united front for like feminism and females. It would have been good to see that in the movie. If you had to choose between which one to read or which one you would want to read or watch, I would definitely go probably with the movie, actually. So that's like, I rarely say that. I usually say you should always read the book first to get like the concept and what was going on during that time. I think the movie portrays that very well. And then if you want to like delve deeper into it, definitely read the book afterward. But yeah, so that was kind of my thoughts on the book and movie Hidden Figures. Let me know if you guys watched the movie or have read the book and have any thoughts about it. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. I thought both were like super emotional. I was crying throughout the movie. It was just a story that spoke to me in a very personal way. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but just seeing what they went through and continuing to fight back and just do what they believed to be what was right was just very motivating and inspirational. So I'd love to know if you guys found it the same way. Yeah, and if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be making videos every week on Wednesdays. I'm trying to keep up with a consistent schedule, so yeah. And I kind of also wanted to mention that I have reached 500 subscribers, which seems ridiculous, and I just wanted to thank everyone who subscribes and who watches and comments on my videos. It really means a lot to me, and I love being able to talk with you guys about what I'm reading or what you're reading, and it's just great to be able to be a part of this community, and I'm so happy to have all of you here watching videos and sharing your thoughts with me. This is my comparison. I know it was kind of a little jumbled, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks, bye.